Debs, this is Debs Made This. Welcome. This is the Fibremood Giselle review. Right, so the Giselle is a coat that came in edition 16 of Fibremood, which is from September 21. And actually it is a really good edition. If you're going to do one, this is a good one to do. Within it, there is the Betty trousers, which have got a really nice yoke, like a barrel trouser. The ermine blouse, I've made 3 of those, I think, and the plans for a couple more, which is one with a kind of V-shaped front yoke on it, which is really gathered into that. It's really pretty, just a narrow sleeve. Really good for about 1.5 meters of fabric, I reckon, perhaps slightly more, but depending on the sizes. But yes, lots of good. And the Irma vest, which is what I've cut out of some of what's left of this material, but I haven't got the urge to sew that at the moment, but more on that later. So it comes in Fibremood sizes extra small to triple XL, about a 57-inch bust and hip as the maximum. Now there is quite a lot of ease in this pattern, so I wouldn't let that put you up if you're on the top end of that sizing, because there's plenty of space under that. I wear mine with at least 2 jumpers underneath it most of the time, and I've got plenty of space. I made between the medium and the large based on the finished garment measurements and whereabouts it put me size wise, and I think I probably could have sized down to a medium. It's an oversized style drop sleeve, and such is kind of made to be over the top of other layers in the winter. You may notice that it should, according to the pattern, I'm going to show you, mine's got a bit of wet on it, I'm very sorry, but if you can't see that, I'll put a close-up version. But it has supposed to have a flap that comes over the top of the zip, like a zip shield from the wind. Mine is here. Me and this coat had a few struggles, and this was sacrificed within the struggle to enable the coat to be finished. It has been finished, it has been worn, I have enjoyed wearing it very much, and I have been proper toasty cozy. It's like wearing a duvet. The fabric that I used came from the Organic Textile Company, which is a little company based in Wales. They know where all their fabric comes from, and they are absolutely lovely. There's a bloke called Gwyn who is the most helpful man on the planet. He's very funny. So if you ever need any help with anything on their website, just ring up and speak to them, because they are absolutely lovely. They sent me extra of this fabric. I ordered enough to make an Irma with, which is the vest version. But because there was some variation in the colour, he sent me a couple of extra meters, bless him, especially when I told him I was going to be using it inside out. So what I've used is actually, this is supposed to be the inside, and then the paler blue is supposed to be the outside. So you can see this is not a lined jacket. It's a jacket that's got bias binding on some of the seams. You could bias bind all of the seams if you were feeling so inclined. And it has a lighter fabric used for the zip guard underneath, and I've used a Rifle Paper Company thing from my stash, which I got in somebody's stash, which had been sitting around for ages. And actually what I ended up doing is I cut into it to do that, and then I used the rest to make a York pinafore. So which I was a bit frightened. I kind of thought it might just not quite be my style, but actually I've worn it loads. I'll put out a picture of me wearing the York pinafore that coordinates. I do wear them together, but not very often. Bias trim that I used is from Sea Salt from years ago, when they used to do fabric and trimmings and buttons and all sorts. So that's been sitting in my stash for ages, and I had enough to make this work. And then I've got a heavy duty exterior zip that I've used, having learnt from previous makes that it's not worth trying to make it work with a less heavy duty zip. Other people have combined this with patterns that have a hood, so you could put a hood on it. But to be honest, I find it toasty enough, and because it isn't waterproof, I probably wouldn't wear it if I were needing to wear a hood. It's kind of my warm jacket as opposed to my waterproof jacket. So I didn't make any modifications for the fit of this jacket. It is actually quite short from shoulder seam to waist. So just be aware of that if you're longer bodied. I am really short torsoed. I normally take at least an inch out of virtually every pattern that I make. So this must come up short. Whether it's just supposed to be kind of empire-y, I don't know. But this sits at my proper waist when I wear it. I don't think I changed it very much at all. So yes, no mods. I probably should. I think it's made for a 5'7" person, and I'm 5'5" and a bit. So I could have taken a bit of length off of it, but I didn't. And then the inside, your cord has like a casing. So I did that in the contrast fabric again. That was a bit of a pig to try and sew, to be honest with you. But obviously it just means you get that little flash. If I was doing it again, I might actually do the pockets the other way round. So the pocket peak that's nice is from the outside. I don't know if you'll be able to see that from there. If you can't, I'll put a picture in. And obviously that's the inside, but I kind of like the idea of maybe being able to see the pockets. I mean, you could double line it, but that seemed a bit of a overkill on expensive fabric for me. And the cord is just one from my stash. I haven't put those little poppy clips on them. I've just tied it in a knot where I like it, and that seems to work okay for me. And just a pop of that gold colour, which not mustardy gold colour, which coordinates with that. The kids really don't like my gold, the yellowy gold cord, but yeah. And so, as I said, the only bit that I really struggled with was due to my fabric choice. So this fabric is organic cotton on both sides. It has organic cotton wadding, so the wadding is really, really dense. And I think that's what caused the problem. So when this was on, so it was okay stitching it that way, but then the idea is you turn it over once it's secured and you top stitch the other way. So then there would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 layers of fabric, including that exterior zip and the bias binding, and it just would not play. I even got the Benina out. I have a 1983, I think, one of the first computerized Benina, and it will sew virtually anything. And it would sew it. It was not happy. There was some hand cranking, especially at, like the junctions and things. That's just, too many junctions. So if I was doing it again and I wanted to use a thick fabric, or if you're doing it and you want to use a thick fabric, I would suggest that you replace this layer with a thin layer, that you replace the inner of this with a thin layer, and just kind of really pare it down, and maybe don't use such a heavy duty zip. But I think if you're using thick fabric, you should be using a heavy duty zip. So I did try all my tricks. I did hammer it. It was paired with, I trimmed everything down. And I have a count of the things that this cost. So the costs of this, I should maybe write this up actually, is 3 overlocker needles, 2 leather 90 or 100, no, 3 leather 90 or 100 needles, 2 universal 80s, and plus my joy of sewing. Very, very nearly. I was about 10 days, which is nearly unheard of for me to be at home and not sew, before I started to sew something else. I think I was trying to work out what it was, and I think it's just the wrangling of the fabric, having to fight the fabric through the machine. And I felt like I wasn't treating the fabric well, that the garment would feel that kind of tussle in it. I don't know. It's funny, isn't it, how we are about stuff. But I'm very glad I finished it. I'm very glad that I've been wearing it, because I think that's really useful. The fabric is lovely, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my Irma done when I kind of feel able. So that's sitting there. It's made up apart from the bias binding. I haven't found the bias binding that I think suits it the most, so it will sit there for a little bit longer, I think. And I do have enough to squeak a dog coat out of it if I can be inclined. It has also been used actually to make all those things, bowl cozies. So I've made some bowl cozies for people out of it as well, because it's all cotton, so you can. So that's it. So it is a good pattern. I think you just need to be cautious if you're using a pre-quilted thick fabric. If you were using one that was made of polyester or nylon or something, it would probably be fine. It probably wouldn't cause you any problem at all. The drop shoulder is a bit low for my liking. I shall put a picture of me twirling, but I think I could probably have sized down again, or at least brought this up by about an inch, and it would have still have been giving me the drop shoulder look, but without that kind of bulk halfway down your arms. I really like the fact that it's cinched in at the waist, and I really like having the coordinating fabrics involved with it. So yes, that version, the edition of Fibremood number 16 from September 2021, I would hugely recommend, because I could probably make most of the patterns that are in it. And the Fibremood Giselle is definitely a kind of almost a complete thumbs up from me. I still have some wounds as a result of the fabric. So I think that'll do for me. So let me know if you've made the Giselle, and let me know if you enjoyed making it. What did you make it out of? Link me to your Insta down below if you did it. And if you're thinking about making it, let me know. And I'm quite happy to answer any questions if I've missed anything out. I hope that's okay. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who's liked, subscribed, commented, and done all that good stuff. If you're enjoying my content, please do like, because it enables it to be seen by more people. And I shall be along soon with something new. I promise that my 2022 reflections and my 2023 plans are kind of written but not recorded. See you soon. Bye bye for now.